All right, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I am going to do a quick video on what webinar platform is my preference and why. I get this question all the time. So, all right, here we go. So let me turn that down real quick. I love how I love how that automatic respond thing just goes. All right, so as you are joining me, do me a favor, type your first name, last name in the comments. Let me know what it is that you do, because I always like to know who I'm talking to and who is in the building. So hopefully, I will be able to see your comments, and I just like to know that we are coming in loud and clear. And I'm going to show you which platforms I use and why. So real quick, I did get a notification that I'm live on LinkedIn. Love my LinkedIn peeps. All right, so I'm gonna turn it down so I can hear it. All right, so listen. All right, so if this is your first time that you are hearing the sound of my voice, my name is Dakisha Williams. I am a webinar strategist and a virtual training strategist. So we do all things online training. And I always get the question of, okay, so what what platform do you use and why are you using that platform? So if you could do me a favor, um, if you can type your name, where are you tuning in from? And also, what is it that you do? Like what area, what industry are you do you work in? All right, so we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. All right. So I want to probably talk about the two most popular platforms. But let me start by saying this because everyone wants to know, okay, well, Zoom is a webinar platform. Yes, it is. Or they have the webinar feature. Let me say that. So I'm going to let you know that the webinar platform of my choice is Easy Webinar. All right. Easy Webinar, easywebinar.com. If you want to try it out, I do have like a 14-day trial for you. But right now, what's important to me at this level in the game is making sure that I understand the behavior of the people that register for my webinars for my broadcast. Um, and understanding that behavior plays an important role in the buyer's journey. So I think I might do a video separately on understanding the buyer's journey because when you are in this space on the online space, you do have to understand that people go through a process before they actually make a purchase with you. So they're going to be checking you out. They're going to be Facebook stalking, social media stalking, right? And then they're eventually going to see they're going to see something or come across something that captures their attention. And so that's going to lead them to either, opt in into your masterclass. They're going to opt in into a lead magnet. They're going to do something and they're going to get on your list. Then, while they're only on your list, at some point in time, you should be inviting them into what we like to call a sales system or a sales process. That means that is where you're asking, you're giving the ask, okay? And you should be always doing that. So when I understand the buyer's journey and where people are in the buyer's journey, I always like to make sure that I'm following their behaviors in that process. Okay. And so what I mean by following their behavior. So let me show you and this is for my people that say that webinar, like technology, doing webinars and technology is super complicated. It doesn't have to be. The buyer's all right, cool. Sorry about that. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And I'm going to show you what I want to share this screen and let me make sure. Oh, there we go. I got to make sure that I can see. All right, so if you can see my screen, right? This is okay, perfect. This right here is the integrations for Easy Webinar, right? So this is a webinar that I've done in the past called um, How to Generate 25K in 90 Days. So we actually just recently did this broadcast. And so this is what like really does it for me. Like all of these platforms has the registration page, all these platforms have the thank you page, all these platform has like the event page where you actually see the broadcast, and then they have where you can see like the replay page as well. But when I looked into like Webinar Jam and is it every webinar, Webinar Jam everywhere, and this is no shade to any of the platforms, all right, this is just personal preference and you'll understand why. It may work for you, it may not. So here's what I do. So when I set it up in the Easy Webinar platform, I make sure that I have a list. So I create a list specifically for this webinar so that I know that the participant came to this particular webinar so that they're registered for how to generate 25K in 90 days or less. But look at this. I can actually track each of their behavior. So I'm going in and I want to know who registered for the event, who actually came to the webinar, um, who watch my full presentation, especially if they watch the full presentation and they did not purchase. Like that to me is like it's a hot lead, right? Because 9 times out of 10, they actually may have questions about the offer if they didn't hit the button. All right. Then of course you got the people that don't come. If you know me, you know that 50% of 50 between 50 to 60% of the people that register are not going to show up. They're probably going to watch the replay. And then I want to know what the people that left early. And the reason why I like to know these things is because when I come over here to my my email marketing system, right? So this is kind of what this looks like. And I mean, you could probably set this up in your own email marketing system. And it's all based on tagging. All right. So if you're watching me live, I want you to type in the comments tagging. And then I want you to type in the comments behaviors. Like this is so very important. All right. And so what happens is it automatically sends a signal to my email marketing system because it's integrated with that particular platform. And it tags that person as a registered prospect. I was going to say attendee, but they didn't necessarily attend. And then the next thing is they registered, they didn't come, they left early. I don't know what tag is applied here. So I could do like, what is this? High converting webinar watched replay. It should be one already. Let me see. Oh, this is a different webinar. So I'm going to put high converting webinar, then I'll put watch replay, right? I'm going to add that, my category. And then I'm going to save it. So now I can put together a sequence of people that watch the replay. If they watch the replay and they watched it all the way through, again, warm lead, right? So these are people that are actually like, we call them they're prospects because they've entered into our system, they've shown interest, and then they've watched the entire sales presentation. Some have watched it to the end. And so we send out very specific emails based on their behavior. So when I was looking in another webinar platform, I'm not able to do that. And I can text them based on their behavior too, and not sending out this, generic email to everyone. I mean, we like to know that you actually do pay attention to us when we are on your email list. Am I right? Or no? Or is that just me? So like here is the other platform that I use. This is EverWebinar. So the other thing about them is, so the founders of Webinar Jam, they actually have two different platforms. All right. So you have Webinar Jam, which is the live platform, and you have EverWebinar, which is the automated platform. With Easy Webinar, you need one platform for both. And so I think the pricing on Webinar Jam. You might be able to get it for $49. I'm not 1000% sure. But so this is one of the ones that I did a long time ago. All right. This is one that I did a long time ago. And so yes, they have integrations. So they integrate with like, Infusionsoft, but it doesn't, that I've seen, have the capability to tag based on behaviors. They will send out like my reminder notifications and stuff like that, which is cool. And then when you go to the analytics, like you can select a webinar. I don't know, this is the old one. I don't know if anybody, I don't know if I drove traffic to this one, but I just want to show it for example. All right, so this is the old one. And so, yeah, it tells you the visitors, it tells you the sign up rate, it tells you the registration, it tells you the show up rate, and it tells you the replay attendees, and also shows you, kind of where the drop off is. So, then they kind of fall off. This thing, it was not 2 hours. Oh, it was an hour. So then your replay viewers, okay, so they watch, they drop off towards the offer, right? But I can't tell who specifically stayed on. I can download my registrations, but I can't specifically say, oh, this person watched the full webinar. Oh, this person didn't come. It just gives me a group and a whole. So that's one of the reasons that me personally, I like to use this particular platform. It's a one platform deal. So yeah, so there's my question. And then, okay, for y'all Zoom users, let me tell you real quick. But I highly recommend you go watch my video on YouTube about Zoom is not a webinar platform if you want the full story on Zoom. But at the end of the day, you can use Zoom webinar feature. There's a lot of manual work that goes into it, but I will say this: if this is your first webinar, and you haven't mastered it yet, like you're not doing them once a week, twice a week, then yeah, go ahead and use it until you get used to the process of actually hosting an online training. But if you really like, so here's what I tell my Webinar Success Tribe students is, if it's almost like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, right? So if you're a freshman and you're just getting started out, like you've never done a webinar before, okay, you know what? And I'm gonna say this on live, go ahead and use Zoom. Like everything is a learning process. So I'd rather you get out there and do it versus not do it at all. And so if you're a freshman, then yeah, go ahead and use Zoom. But if you're a sophomore baby, it's time for you to step into that next level and time for you to start tracking metrics, because what gets measured gets managed. So hopefully this quick training has I gotta find, oh, stop sharing. I'm like, where is this thing at? So hopefully this has helped you guys in regards of understanding, like, platform to use. I do have a link if you want to try it out. Let me drop it in the chat real quick. If you are interested in, getting started with webinars or monetizing the current webinar that you have, I strongly encourage you to reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. We do have the Webinar Tribe that we meet every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. And so it's all things webinars. We do like scripts, follow-ups, how to get more people enrolled on your webinar, how to get, more people to stay until the end. So we talk all things webinar. I'll give them email scripts, templates, and all that kind of stuff. We'll look at your PowerPoint presentation and everything. So there is a link if you want to try out the platform of my personal recommendation. Other than that, my name is Dakisha Williams, your webinar strategist. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. I'll see you guys next time.